It's 800-8949. 800-8949. I want to know what your economy report is. What is your take on the economy from where you are? You, my listener, here at the David Tulis Show, 92.7 and 95.3 FM HD4. What do you see? What do you think, based on what you can report to me, is ahead? Do we face a great boom in the economy? Or are there signs locally that we don't face a booming economy, that we face really, or have really, a lot of friction in the economy, a lot of heat, a lot of artifice, which in economic terms, your artifice, your glamour, comes by way of credit. Credit is the instrument where you create your wealth now, and you spend it now, you invest it now, you build new plants, you create new devices, you buy bigger pickup trucks than you need, you have an incentive from the law and through the economy, operating through the economy, to have debt, carry debt, have more debt, to avoid taxation and to minimize your expenses. Somehow we think that carrying more debt is profitable. And I dare say, being in business, in the radio business, I've seen how that works, and my partner, Confederate Mike, and I have discussed how it is that the federal tax system creates a necessity to be in debt. It is almost unavoidable. It is economically coercive, and so we understand that, and we try as much as possible to stay out of that. Well, you could say it's a maelstrom. You could say it's a vortex, perhaps swirling around slowly. The further you get down you get, the faster you go, the dizzier you get. I think we are all pretty dizzy, and so perhaps my sketch that I want to offer you, unless of course you want to interrupt me and call me at 800-8949, 800-8949. My sketch might have some woozy elements to it and be highly impressionistic and not really analytical, because I think it would be more useful to you if I were a seasoned stock picker working at one of the local houses for that trade, and looking very carefully at the Wall Street Journal, and of course all the stats that I can compile, some by paid software, others by just looking at Google Finance and or reading reports, from Reuters or other, and and that might be better to have that man give you what he thinks is going to happen. But often I find that people who are making a living off of stewarding other people's assets have a great blind spot in their fiduciary duty. They have a fiduciary duty to let their customers know, their clients know, of things that imperil their buying power, their assets. Many of them overlook the great one, and that is inflation, which comes about because people in Chattanooga have not defied the federal behemoth and have not, by a single case, had gone up on appeal to bring down the legal appearances of lawfulness in the Fed-run system, the system run by the Federal Reserve System, and that would be the whole inverted pyramid of paper debt and paper money. We have in Chattanooga signs of a boom. Okay, the boom is evident in two obvious areas that you, my listener, can see for yourself. Now, so you are going out this afternoon on errands, just drop in on some retail places and see if there's a sign in the window for help wanted. There's a great demand for help in stores and businesses everywhere you go. There is a sustaining of the business enterprise across the city and the county, but we don't have enough people. Now, there is a hidden story of that, and that would be the Social Security scam. A vast industry has grown up around the Social Security disability system that keeps people out of the workforce and content to receive the Treasury direct deposit every month. And these people have to slyly maybe work a little bit on the side, doing some lawn work or consulting and so on, trying to keep it off the records, off the books, while they collect this stipend being disabled. So there's a that disability sector is bigger than than Medicare, than Medicaid. It's bigger than that. And so that aside, there are among employers and owners and entrepreneurs and capitalists in Chattanooga and Hamilton County a need for staff people. And so we have what they call low unemployment, right? So that's one sign that we are enjoying the fruit for now of a paper money system where credit creates business, creates longing for new things, it creates demand for purchasing, and so that's one sign of that. There's a boom that is artificially stimulated by credit. And the other one is also visible to the denuded eyeball, the naked eye, and that would be the building of structures all across Chattanooga and Hamilton County. Now you could say, well, that's all fine and good, and I will have you ask this though about building booms. Building booms raise property values and push out from the city center people who really need to be in the city center, and they need to be there in their poverty, right? The poor people in Chattanooga, when housing prices go up, are squeezed out of the city, and they're moving out into lesser quality, cheaper quarters in neighborhoods and subdivisions and apartment complexes outside of the city, outside the areas where the boom is, right, where the spike of economic activity registers, if you will, on the graph. So Chattanooga has if you graph it out, you find peaks multiplying in the downtown area, raising values, and the expectation is, of course, that if we build these apartment units, even some for workers, right, we will get people to pay $800, $1,200 per month in paper money, of course, to rent them, and that you're not, if you're paying $800 a month in rent, you're not a poor person. A poor person can afford $300 a month in rent. That's about $300 or $400, and that's about it. And the homeless, of course, they can afford nothing in the way of rent. And what we have to consider is my proposal that did touch in the mayoral campaign this last time, which Mayor Andy Burke won handily, and that is the shantytown theory. And I have pursued this argument even among the candidates. And one candidate, Chris Long, the only one really to be receptive to this idea, and in fact, who was thinking very much in the same direction I have been about housing for the absolute bottom of the market. That would be the market in which the resident is so poor he cannot afford any rent at all, and that would be a free market in housing, regulation-free, tax-free, where the homeless person obtains in 2.5 years a title to land. He obtains title to land by having resided there in his own shack or in his own collection of tarps, wood frames, boxes, and what have you, and pieces of discard scrap lumber. He's made himself a little place, and he stays there for 2.5 years. He will own that piece of property. That is the shantytown concept, and one that I have developed as a free market idea that would be a benefit. Now, when we have a boom, an economic boom in credit, the people who suffer the most are, in the end, the poor, the ignorant, and minorities, and those at the very bottom of the economic ladder generally suffer the most. Okay, and the people at the very top, for them, the economic news is always good. Of course, that top 1%. It's always good. We are in a thriving American economy. We have a great free market economy, and we have free trade. All the things that we consider, you might say, interventions of the free market, they view as part of what's right, part of what is true about America. We here at the top have the economic dream being fulfilled by our labor of our own hands. We have brought our own wealth upon ourselves. And of course, they wouldn't thank God for it, of course, but they probably wouldn't even thank the Federal Reserve System, to which they should have really, I would suggest, a great estimable amount of thanks and gratitude, because it is by virtue of paper money and the banking system that rides along with this cartel that they have made their great wealth. These people have to pay the AMT, right? So we have these two proofs of the boom in the marketplace, and that these are signs of the top, right? At the top, the latecomers, the people who discovered late that, wow, we have a booming economy and wow, credit really is pretty cheap. What they've done is they've gotten together with lenders, and there's some of that, some of that excess capital has gone back into buying back shares, billions and billions of dollars, record amounts of share buybacks, to keep elevated the price of shares. Right? That's what happens when you eliminate shares from the marketplace in the secondary market. You buy back those shares, you keep the price of shares up. It's an artificial stimulus keeping up the market. So most of the inflation has not shown up in retail, the retail sector. It's all gone into the financial sector, and that's why you're not feeling it as badly as it really is. And of course, this pretended target of the Fed, which is scared of what's ahead. It is very scared of what's just ahead, and it can't stop it. It is damaging for the poor and enriching to the people closest to the spigot of easy and cheap capital, free money. Right? It is a free money economy when you have now for 30 years. It's not just the past 10 years since the meltdown that we've had free money. It's been going on for 30 years. The artificial suppression by the issuer of our paper currency of the rate of interest, and an injection into the marketplace of trillions and trillions of units called dollars, right? These are called dollars, and it is those dollars which have made prices go up, right? Prices of assets, prices of stock, and have supported the paybacks of those who lend their money to the federal government and others through bonds and through annuities, financial instruments, and things like that. So we have an economy that's artificially maintained at its height. View it as I read in David Stockman. View it as a drunken party. And when Grandma Yellen and her successor now in the head of the Federal Reserve System, when they say that we're going to raise interest rates, what they're doing is they're tapping at the door and saying, well, there's maybe a deputy out there who's want to know what's going on in here. You've got people going into rooms by themselves. You have people coming back to the great glass trough there, one that's not a circle with finely gilded edges, but actually a long glass trough where people, because there's so many of them all at once wanting the free credit, they all line up to get it at the same time. You don't have to wait in line for it. In fact, because the trough mechanism lets several quench their thirst for the liqueur at the same time, and that is our national economy. And it comes about because we in Chattanooga have not said stop. Whoa! No one has said you can't do that. Hey, no one said that. Now I've said that, but who am I? I'm just David Tulis here at Nooga Radio 927 FM. It's something I've been saying most of my adult life, but it really it's perhaps gratifying for one to think of one's past exploits in publishing, right, and so on. But those comments to the vaporous outer world of the reader or the listener, they don't have really any effect. And so what we have is something that can't be persuaded. We can't persuade anybody to say let's stop this, let's turn this back, let's get back to a more constitutional system. It's not possible to happen. And so the inevitable is a return to reality, that the party is over, and we're going to have to find some way of sopping up, soaking in, restoring the overage in the economy. And it won't happen. There will have to be a mass repudiation of the debt, government debt and private debt. In the Bible, it was a grace given upon the old nation of Israel. It's called a Jubilee, and that was in the 49th year, or the 50th year after seven rounds of years of smaller Sabbath rest for the land. There was a restoration of all the original order among all the tribes. Of course, there was a very narrow and tight, very confining system in that country. That's why that country, the nation of Israel, is no more. Its economic system was in a way a model for the world of the free market, and we have you must say, the memory of the Jubilee years that will come inevitably. There have been many Jubilees in mankind since that time, and it's in a way, think about the debt. Think about the national debt, the federal debt, as as a it's not a real claim. It's not a real claim on anything, right? If you owe $100,000 in paper money, you don't, in a way, you could say you don't really owe it because the money wasn't existent before the loan was created, right? Because we have a fractional reserve system in banking, the credits that you obtained through the lending process, through the long meetings with the lender and signing your signature on about 9 pieces of paper, and making a personal guarantee and all those things, that really isn't something that doesn't exist. The dollars that you created in the lending process don't exist. And so you could say, in a way, that you haven't really offended anybody to not pay it back. It wasn't real silver or real gold that was given to you by that loan. It doesn't really exist. It is all, as one noted writer whom I greatly appreciate says, it's ideas for your money. It's money that is only an idea. It is a conception of everybody. We all agree that this is a dollar, that you have to pay it back. It's a loan and a debt, and you're obligated to pay it back. So, but theoretically, because these are extensions of credit, which is you, right? When you get a loan from a fractional reserve lender, a credit union, or a bank, you're being given something that you already have. That is credit. The credit belongs to you, and you are giving it to the bank. You're promising to repay the units with the profit because you are valuable, right? You are valuable. The bank recognizes that, and you are going to get that credit to spend now because it knows that you are valuable and you have credit. You are a creditable person. You are a person of account. You can pay it back. And so you get the loan. But in fact, the dollars that you've borrowed are not real dollars. A dollar is a silver coin weighing an ounce and a half, containing, I don't know, 400 grains of silver, 90% fine, something like that. That's what a dollar is. It's not anything other than that. And so we have a system, a balloon of credit across the landscape in Chattanooga and Hamilton County. 800-8949 is the number. 800-894-9. Brought to you by yournews.com. Yournews.com. There is a meltdown ahead. All right, the sketch to be complete. There is a meltdown ahead, I would say, of catastrophic proportions, and it will happen very suddenly because the rubber band has been pulled very, very tight. And when it snaps, it will sting your skin and leave a red spot. Okay, it's been pulled back very, very far. The skin of the American people will burn brightly red, and there will be a sharp sting that runs through every limb. When you have such a thing happen to you, you hurt even in your toes, right? Even in your toes, though it really has snapped your arm. You are hurting everywhere, and that will be the effect in national economy, in Chattanooga, in Hamilton County. And so the question that we deal with here on the David Tulis Show, and some of my sources, right? My sources of wisdom, knowledge, and insight about the market and the real world, they will suggest you do certain things in the direction of liquidation. And I would say, in short, the solution to your dilemma of risk, this unseen risk that your advisor has not thought it in his fiduciary duty to tell you about, is inflation hidden from the retail marketplace, the retail store, your food city, your gas station, your utility bill, your net bill. These are all things that are not registering this bubble. Okay, it's registered elsewhere. It's registered in real estate. And in the financial sector. We're a great exporter of inflation in our country, or should I say their country. And the American empire is in peril. So the two evidences are, if you're just joining us here on the David Tulis Show, the two evidences are help wanted posters everywhere, retail, and the building boom. Is there a lot of money in the economy? No. I'm in sales, running a radio station. I'm a barometer of the future of the market, and I'm not sure I can give a glowing report about the future. There doesn't seem to be a lot of money in the economy. Now, that could be just because I'm competing against the newspaper, I'm competing against digital platforms, and though radio gives results, even though radio promises results in its product to its clients who are advertisers, there is not a lot of cash in the economy, and that may be because we have a lot of credit in the economy and a lot of debt. Make sure you go to yournews.com. I have a very nice story today, actually a couple, and it is about the breastfeeding traffic stop. Tennessee is the home of the breastfeeding traffic stop. And in the story, a former military policeman who has, if you look there at yournews.com, you can see him garbed in his military gear, his automatic rifle slung, aiming the barrel down toward his boot. Okay, there you can see him. But he's now a civil man. He's no longer sniffing bombs and routing traffic in Baghdad for the Yankee occupation force there. He is living in Tennessee, married, a beautiful wife with children, and beautiful children. You can see a mugshot of one of them at yournews.com. Yournews.com. David Tulis Show brought to you by yournews.com. Yournews.com. Another thing I've noticed is that owners are often not in sales. You always want to talk to the person who makes the decision. If you are trying to peddle anything, you don't want to talk just to some flunky who can say, well, we're not interested, right? That's easy enough to encounter such a person behind the counter, or someone who's gone to be fetched from the back quarters of the building as you wait there by the table. You don't want someone to say no. You want to meet the owner. Owners are very often not there. It's funny how small business people understand one thing, that when you're the owner, you hire the manager, right? And then you do something else, maybe more profitable. But often, I'm the owner, and I want to be here. If I'm the owner of a radio station, I want to be here. I don't want to be always out doing something. I don't want to be on vacation. I want to be here. I haven't taken a vacation in a long, long time. I do rest on the Lord's Day, but vacation, I'm probably due for one. Probably a sabbatical would be very good for David Tulis with his bow tie with the ink spot on it and his frayed jacket cuffs. The blogger with the biggest pen. That is the party to whom you are giving just this moment. I do thank you for your brief moment with me. This interlude in your busy morning. We are Nooga Radio 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. Owners are not in, and I guess because we all have cell phones and we have everybody on our list of people to call. It's often something I know that the owner is just not available. Why is that? If you're the owner, should you not be there? Do you not want to be there to make sure that your salespeople, your counter people, your repair person, that he has all the encouragement he needs? Because you are, after all, there to make that person successful. You are the owner, and you've hired that man or that woman to make that person successful. And should you not be there in your business? Not just because David Tulis, the salesman, may come by, or Jen Lambert, or Mike Wilson, or Sam Jordan from our wonderful staff here at Nooga Radio, but because you want the quality to be as high as you are. Right? You want the quality to be the way you've always dreamed it would be. But now you've been in this business for a while, you've been in it for 6 or 7 years, and you're real tired of it. Is that the right thing? Maybe it is. It might be the right thing. I'm just questioning my listener. I want you to be really good at what you do. I want you to be very successful. And help me make the argument that near is better than small is better than big, simple than complex. Now, yeah, there's some footnotes at 5.5, but you know what they are. We're going to talk now about Chief David Rodney trying to give his cops new powers.
Traffic, news, and information. Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.6.